When my son-in-law looked me straight in the eyes and said, "We will dispose of your pension," I didn't even flinch. I'd already seen too much betrayal in my life to be surprised anymore. But when he came back just a few hours later, shouting and trembling like he'd seen a ghost, that's when I realized karma had finally caught up to him. Tell me honestly, was I wrong for what I did next? Or did he deserve every bit of what came to him? I'm a 67-year-old retired government employee. After 40 years of service, I'd finally started receiving my pension. A small amount, but enough for me and my wife to live modestly and peacefully. We had one daughter, Ayesha, who got married to a man named Sad about 6 years ago. At first, Sad seemed like a good guy, educated, polite, and respectful. But soon after the wedding, the cracks began to show. Sad had a temper. He was materialistic and always chasing shortcuts to wealth. My daughter often visited us crying, telling me how Sad would taunt her for not bringing enough dowry. I tried to stay calm, always advising patience, thinking that maybe time would mature him. But deep down, I knew the kind of man he really was. A man who saw relationships as transactions. Everything came to a head when I decided to sell my old house. It wasn't a fancy place, just a 2-bedroom house in the old city that I'd bought decades ago. I wanted to move into a smaller apartment, easier to maintain. The plan was simple: sell the house, keep a part of the money for me and my wife, and deposit the rest safely as fixed-term savings so we'd have a comfortable pensioned life. But the moment Sad heard about the sale, he started showing up at my place every day. At first, pretending to help. "Abba, let me handle the paperwork. You're old now? I'll deal with the agents," he'd say with that fake smile. But soon, it turned into pressure. "Why keep all that money to yourself? You're old. You should transfer some of it to Ayesha. Let us invest it. We'll double it for you." I refused politely, but I could see the greed flickering in his eyes like a flame waiting for fuel. My daughter was torn. She loved her husband but also knew her father wasn't a fool. "Papa," she'd whisper on the phone, "please don't give him any money. He's been obsessed with investments lately. He lost some money in crypto and a bad car business. I don't trust him." That confirmed everything. I decided to be cautious. I completed the sale, got my check, and deposited it in a long-term savings account under my name. The same evening, Sad barged into my house uninvited, his face red with anger. "So that's it, huh?" he shouted. "You sold the house, and didn't even think of your daughter's future." I calmly replied, "My daughter's future is safe as long as I'm alive. What I earned with my sweat. I will decide where it goes." That's when he muttered those words that still echo in my ears. "We'll dispose of your pension one way or another." Then he stormed out, slamming the door behind him. My wife was shaken. "He's dangerous," she said. "He's crossed the line." I reassured her that I'd handle it, but that night, I barely slept. I wasn't scared for myself, but for Ayesha. I knew a man like Sad could take out his frustration on her. The next day, I called her and asked her to come stay with us for a few days. She refused at first, saying it would make things worse. But when she came later that evening, I noticed bruises on her wrist. My blood boiled. I wanted to confront Sad right then, but Ayesha begged me not to. "Papa, please, let me handle it. He's just angry about money. He'll cool down." Against my better judgment, I agreed. A week passed in silence, until one morning I got a call from the bank. The officer told me someone had tried to access my account online multiple times and failed. My password had been reset, but the system detected suspicious activity. I immediately knew who it was. I called Sad directly and told him, "If you ever try something like that again, I'll go to the police." He laughed and said, "You think they'll believe you over me? I'm your son-in-law. That arrogance? God? I'll never forget it." A few days later, something strange happened. Sad and Ayesha came to visit, pretending to be friendly. Sad was all smiles, even brought sweets. He said, "Abba, I've been thinking. I was too harsh last time. I want to make things right." My wife and I were relieved, though cautious. He sat down, chatting casually, but I noticed he kept glancing at my cupboard, the one where I kept important papers. After lunch, I went to the washroom, and when I came out, the cupboard was slightly open. I didn't say anything then, but after they left, I checked inside. My pension documents and property papers were gone. My heart sank. My hands trembled as I called Ayesha, but she didn't pick up. I called again and again until Sad finally answered. "Oh, Abba," he said casually. "Don't worry. We took the papers to get them checked for some investment opportunity. You'll thank me later." That was the final straw. I told him, "If those papers aren't back in my hands by tomorrow morning, I'm calling the police." He laughed again and hung up. That night, I didn't sleep. I stayed up planning. I wasn't as helpless as he thought. I had friends, old colleagues who worked in the police department. I called one of them, Inspector Imran, and explained everything. He told me to act normal and wait. The next day, Sad showed up, smirking. "Here for your precious papers," he taunted. I stayed calm, offering him tea. But while he was drinking, 2 plainclothes officers entered the room. His face went pale. "What's this?" he stammered. Imran stepped forward. "We just want to ask you a few questions about some missing documents." Sad tried to act innocent, but when they searched his car outside, they found a folder with my name on it, along with forged signatures and withdrawal requests. He'd planned to transfer my pension account into his name using fake authorization letters. The moment he saw the evidence, his confidence shattered. He started shouting, "It's not mine! I didn't do it!" But the officers took him anyway. Now here's the thing. Just a few hours later, he came back, escorted by Ayesha. Apparently he'd been released after giving a written apology and agreeing to return everything. He was shouting, not out of anger, but out of humiliation. "You embarrassed me in front of everyone!" he yelled. I looked him straight in the eyes and said, "You embarrassed yourself." He stormed out, dragging Ayesha with him. My daughter cried the whole night, apologizing for her husband's behavior. I hugged her and said, "You have nothing to apologize for. You married a man, not a monster." But he chose to become one. Now, before I tell you what happened next, let me ask you, what would you have done in my place? Would you have stayed quiet to keep the family peace, or would you have fought back like I did? Tell me in the comments, because I really want to know if my actions were justified or if I went too far. So, a few days later, I got a call from Sad again. His tone was completely different. "Baba, I'm sorry, I was stupid. I lost control. Please forgive me." He begged me to let him come over and apologize in person. My wife didn't want to see him, but I agreed, partly because I wanted to see if he was really sincere. When he came, he was wearing a cheap shirt, looked unshaven, and seemed nervous. "Abba, I lost everything," he said. "The police record made me lose my job. My business partners cut ties with me. I have nothing left." I looked at him silently. For a moment, I almost felt pity. Almost. Then he said something that changed everything again. "But you can fix this?" he said. "You can help me restart. You can transfer some of your pension funds. It'll help us both." My jaw tightened. He still hadn't learned. I simply said, "Sad, get out. I'm done with you." He begged, cried, and even fell to his knees, but I didn't move. Eventually, he left, shouting once again that I'd regret it. But this time, I wasn't afraid. Weeks passed. Ayesha decided to leave him temporarily and stayed with us. During that time, I saw my daughter healing, smiling again, cooking with her mother, helping around the house. She looked peaceful for the first time in years. But then one night, we got a call. Sad had been caught trying to scam an elderly neighbor out of their retirement money. Same trick. Fake papers, fake signatures. He was arrested again, and this time, there was no way out. I visited him once in jail, not because I cared, but because I needed closure. He looked broken. "You win," he said quietly. "Happy now?" I told him. "This isn't about winning or losing, Sad. This is about what you chose to become." He didn't reply. Months later, Ayesha filed for divorce. It was painful, but necessary. She started working as a teacher, built her own independent life, and promised herself never to depend on anyone again. As for me, I used my pension to buy a small farmhouse outside the city. My wife and I now spend our days tending to plants, sipping tea in peace. Every time I look at the sunset, I remember those words, "We will dispose of your pension." And I smile, because destiny disposed of his greed instead. Now, People sometimes tell me I should have forgiven him, that family matters should stay within the family. But I disagree. When someone crosses the line from mistake to manipulation, forgiveness becomes weakness. If I hadn't stood up to him, who knows how many others he would have ruined? Sometimes protecting your family means confronting those within it. It's painful, but necessary. So tell me, was I wrong? Should I have given him another chance? Or was this the only way to teach him that greed and betrayal always come back to haunt you? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you were on my side, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps the channel. Subscribe for more true life stories like this one, and share your thoughts down below. I'll be reading every comment because I want to hear what you would have done. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you all in the next story.